a long shot. Jackpot, 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 jackpot. Riding around the block, shooting those shots.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Showtime Satchmoe. We are here with the Satchmoe Show, man. We got a lot of stuff to break down. A lot of controversy happened last week, and of course, we got to look forward to the events this Sunday. Let's just go ahead and get right into it, man. This week I'm gonna start off a little different. I'm gonna look at what happened last week. Normally I don't look too much in the past. I just look for the future. Let's look in the past, man. The 4 fights I predicted. Let's see how I did, man. The first fight I predicted, Noetta versus KB King. Hey, man, I ain't gonna say I predicted or nothing, but I said stand up war, and Noetta gets that second round KO. And what happened, baby? It was a stand up war. Noetta got that third round KO. I count that as a win in my books. Big W there. Then we go on to the next fight. I'll admit, not my best prediction. I said Hammer to get the best of Dave. I said Hammer would be able to keep him away, fight the distance battle. And, I said wrestling wouldn't be an impact. I said they negate each other out. That clearly did not happen. What happened was that we found out Dave is a better wrestler than Hammer, and he utilized that to his full potential. And even in the stand-up department, at range, Dave had a big advantage there. The only place where I would say Hammer looked, really proficient in that fight was in the clinch. He had a lot of good clinch knees and elbows, and a lot of people don't like the dirty boxing of the game. Sometimes it looks pretty. A little bit of that dirty Dan Henderson. He's got that going for him. So he did good there. But other than that, Dave had a pretty strong advantage of that fight. It was clear bell to bell, and he got that second round submission via arm triangle. Into the next fight, man, Yurda versus Trixie. And you know what I said? I said Yurda wouldn't be able to find this man's head. Trixie, he's got that head movement, impeccable. But actually, Yurda did a great job starting out. I think he had a rock early. I don't think it was a drop, just a rock. He was touching him up with Max Holloway, man. He looked like the best boxer in the UFC, but once Trixie found that rhythm, he found what was going on. He's able to put the pressure on, and he got that third round KO, which is exactly what I predicted. Once again, the genius of Showtime. This is why you watch me, man. I'm not entertaining. I'm just factual all the time. And finally, Fad versus Caliber. And what I said is that Caliber wouldn't use his wrestling until it was too late, and he'd get knocked out in the feet. And now what had happened was he didn't use his wrestling until it was too late. And by the book, it's a second round disqualification. So I think that means I'm right, 3-1. Now, if you watch the fight, you just said, wait a minute, Caliber knocked him out in the fourth round. What the hell are you talking about? What had happened was, allegedly, after the fight, we had a snitch, not to be named, went into the game, and they saw that, I'll put it up on screen. This man Caliber moved his head to the inch once, to the inch the other way. And for whatever reason, you can't move your head 1 inch to the right, 1 inch to the left. That's illegal in the UFC, a little known rule. And he got immediately disqualified after that was found out. It's a good question, man. Is Caliber a dirty cheat, or did the commission make a mistake? Now, I don't think this had the impact on the fight people think it did. If he was slipping straights, doing the bobblehead, I'd understand. But he was running into hooks. At the end of the day, it made no difference. I think, I spoke to him personally. He said it was an accident. I'm sure anyone would say that. But, he said he didn't mean to do it. And, if you look at the fight, I don't think it made any impact. I think this is just tarnishing the great legacy. They took away the man's former champ rule. He can't even be a former champ no more. They redacted that man. And I think that's a little ridiculous. And that snitch not to be named. Well, we also have a new discovery, which is that in the snitch pound-for-pound rankings, Zayev now comes in at 2. He was right behind 6'9", and he just passed Juicy Smouye and Gunna. So that's big news. I don't know if this is related. I'd have to assume so, but at my liberty, I can't say it. But Zayev ranked at number 2 in the pound-for-pound snitch ratings. Big news there. In other news, man, we had Nas and Goat going at it on Twitter, man. Nas, if you guys don't know about him, you don't keep up with the PlayStation side, don't worry, I don't either. But I've seen this kid fight once or twice, and man, he is a problem. Boy is 5-0. He's the champ. He's probably going to be champ for a long time. And what they were arguing about, Nas said something that got the old head a little mad. Goat was first ever champion, so he holds that belt very, very highly respected, man. And, so they were getting into it. And here's the thing, man. The players that come later are always going to be better than the players that came before him. There's a reason you beat the champ, you become the champ. Someone beats that guy, he's better than both of them then, right? That's just how sports work. You go to the 1960s in basketball, man, the boys fucking sucked, right? But, you know, it's the evolution of the game. You still gotta respect where you came from. So I don't like Nas disrespecting GOAT, but it's not disrespectful to say that Nas versus that GOAT, that Nas kicks his ass. That's not disrespectful. That's just factual. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Sorry for the commercial break, but we are now ready to get into the ESFL 149 preview. And, you know, I'm going to do the same way. We pick out 2 different fights in the co-main main event, and I predict how I think it's going to go down. First fight, I want to look at, man, Mix-Ups versus Matty D. And we see Mix-Ups right now is currently a plus 180 underdog, and Matty D is a minus 210 favorite. If you're wondering where I got those odds, man, the SBC, the Satchmoe Betting Club. Check it out, man. It's going to be Discord. You can bet on ESFL fights, primetime fights, maybe some future bets in there. I don't know, man. But check it out. Link will be in the description. None of that plugs over. Oh, and by the way, not real money. You know, virtual currency. I can't be caught with all that. No, sir. But right back into it, man. So if I was wondering how this fight's going to go out, man. Both of these guys have a beautiful record. They come in at 3-0, and really they've been building it quietly. You haven't heard too much about these guys. No one's been talking about them, but that's because they ain't had my attention yet. They got it now. And, you know, Matty D last week, man, he knocked out former champion Dabikin, and I think that win alone separates him as one of the best strikers in the game. You know, Dabikin is a fantastic player, and to go out and finish him, I mean, not even just beat him, go out and finish him like he did, I mean, that's just spectacular. When it comes to Mix-Ups, man, Mix-Up's been building up a nice little win streak. His last win was at ESFL 145. He got the decision win over Webcam. But, you know, I just think what I saw from Matty D is much more than what I've seen from Mix-Ups. However, the X factor in this fight is going to be the grappling. We haven't seen these guys exchange any wrestling that I know of in the ESFL so far. So it maybe if Mix-Ups comes out with a grappling-heavy approach and he can dominate Matty D, it'll be different. But if Matty D comes out like he did against Dabikin, I see him getting the first-round knockout. In the next fight, man, we have Zayev versus Dirty Dave. Zayev comes in as a minus 650 favorite over Dirty Dave, who's a heavy plus 55 underdog, 550 underdog. And, you know, I think this matchup, these nerds in the office, man, you know, they just start putting numbers together like, oh, this guy's 7-2, this guy's 7-4, they should fight. That's not how any of this works, man. You can't just stick 2 guys in the octagon and hope something comes out. If you look at Zayev, he's one of the most spectacular strikers in the game. You know, I mean, who has he lost to, right? I mean, the only people he's ever lost to are just spectacular strikers. And you're putting up against a guy whose main thing is wrestling. I mean, he struggled with Hammer. I mean, I say struggled. He didn't get it done pretty. He was getting dropped by Hammer. And if you can get dropped by Hammer, you're going to get knocked the fuck out by Zayev. That's my opinion. I don't see Dirty Dave able to hold him down. No one's ever been able to hold down Zayev. And on the feet, I mean, you got to be an Ed Parker type player to be able to, you know, stand with him. So I don't see any chance that Dirty Dave gets this done. And I predict Zayev gets a second round knockout. For the next fight, man, Ed Parker versus Holloway. Ed Parker, man, the odds have been shrinking, man. He opened up as a minus 280 favorite. He's now down to only minus 200, while Holloway is currently at plus 165. And this is a very interesting fight, man. Ed Parker coming from the PlayStation division. He just lost his belt to Nas, and he's going to come fight a guy in T4H Holloway, who is one of the most well-rounded fighters Xbox has to offer. You know, despite carrying that T4H name, he doesn't often utilize that wrestling. However, he definitely has it in the bag. I mean, he's honestly one of the best wrestlers in the ESFL. He just doesn't decide to use it. And I think if he does, I mean, the only way I see him winning this fight, he can't fall in love with his hands. He has to sit Parker on his pretty little ass and hold him there for 3 rounds. If Holloway does that, I think he can go out and get a decision victory. But personally, I think he doesn't. And I think Ed Parker, the best striker, well, formerly the best striker in the ESFL, is going to get it done. I predict an Ed Parker knockout in the 3rd round, we'll say. And for our last fight here, man, we have KM Caliber going up against Fadnator. Sorry, the notes are messed up. Fadnator right now is a minus 165 favorite. Caliber is a plus 140 underdog. And, you know, this fight is fresh in everyone's minds. We just saw what happened last week where Caliber ended up finding a way, man. I mean, he knocked him out in the championship rounds. That was Charles Oliveira-esque, man. He got hurt time and time again, but he weathered through the storm and was able to dominate on the ground. And that's what I said before, man. We all knew this going in. If Caliber can get him down, he has an easy way to win. But the problem was he never even took him down that fight. I don't even think he attempted to take down that fight, as a matter of fact. Fadinator, the only time the fight hit the ground is when Caliber got dropped, Fadinator jumped on him, and then Caliber was able to use those jiu-jitsu skills and reverse him and then get on top. And that worries me. If I'm Fadinator, I'm treating him like Charles Oliveira. I'm not jumping in that guard. When I drop him, I let him get right back up, and I'll knock him right down again. And I think if he follows that, he has a very clear path to victory. Like I said, Caliber's hesitant to use his wrestling. He thinks Fadinator is untakedownable, and that's not true. No one is untakedownable, man. You get a right double leg off a check leg kick, or he's throwing a head kick, you go for the single, something like that, man. It can happen to anyone. And to not even try, not put yourself out there, for me, it shows that you don't have the opportunity to win this fight. And for that reason, I'm once again going with Fadinator. I think Fadinator gets the third round knockout here. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for the Satchmoe show. I will catch you in the next one.
Heat. I be selling that heat.